Hello, sixth grade guys. Sorry I wasn't able to meet with you yesterday. I this week has just been a little rough. I've had to go to an appointment yesterday, so I was not able to meet with you guys. But I did want to go over the lesson plans. Thank you, Ms. Vincent, for filling in and adding some stuff to the Google Drive. So I went ahead and I just used the format that I use for the other grade levels. And you can click on the links. It's just a little bit easier for me to navigate through. So I wanted to talk to you guys about it, and it is also in the email. So here are the lesson plans for the week. We'll start off with Monday, and I'll just quickly talk through them. And if you have any questions, you can just email me so that I'll be able to respond back. So in the lesson plans, it has the AKS up at the top for the entire week, and then it's kind of just like a guide, but I also have a link, just linked to the actual lesson plan, which is a lot easier to read as well. So for Monday, we're going to go start with Unit 4, starting with AKS 30 and 31. The learning target is represent equations in the form of x plus p equals q and px equals q using those tape diagrams and balances. So my QCPS is modeling and practice. And I'm going to actually go to the actual plan. So if you notice in column, in Monday's column, it has everything, but I'm just going to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And then when I get to the mini lesson part, there's a link that shows the just the actual lesson plan. So for Monday, we're going to start off with our activating strategy. You'll present this to the students. So there are 9 small boxes and they look exactly alike. So Jake is trying to figure out which box is the same. Basically, we're trying to just show students a balance, what it means for something to be balanced, kind of tying it into equations. So just have them go back and forth, look at the picture, think about what Jake did and why he had to remove it. So what does it mean when a scale is not in balance? What does it mean when it is balanced? And just going back and asking these questions. These questions here are just trying to guide the conversation. So students are not necessarily completing anything at this time. They're looking at something and you're just talking about it. All right. So that is just your activating strategy. Remember, this is only about 5 to 6 minutes of your class, just starting the students to start talking about the math and what you're going to begin. So we're starting off with equations. This is following your expressions unit, so they know how to write the expressions. Now we're going back and we're solving them. So the first think aloud is which tape diagram matches the situation. For each situation described, choose a tape diagram that represents it and explain your reasoning. So they have 2 situations, and then they have a tape diagram that matches one of those situations. I have added notes in here to kind of guide your thinking. Remember, this is the think aloud part where you are just modeling how to go through the problem. Students are listening to you at this time, and they are just basically watching your thinking so that they can apply that to when you give them an opportunity. All right, so you have one problem there. Then we're going to try another problem, which is this mobile me. 7th grade actually used this in one of their lessons. So it's kind of just a visual for, again, the balance. So even though we call them hangers or mobiles or balances, it's just like, to me, it's like an upside down balance. So they're just like a scale, and they're, again, writing an equation to match it. So for this one, I have 3 purple circles and 1 orange rectangle or square. So the square is 12. The circles are my unknown. So I needed to write an equation to represent this. So my equation will be 3 unknowns, or 3x equals 12. And then they can go through and try to solve that. Each circle represents a 4. All right, so for the active engagement, you present another mobile me problem for them. And this was a really cool website. So if I click on the link here, I linked it, and it's a bunch of different ones. So I just picked some. They can play and pick these and try to figure out what they are, plug them in, figure out what the moon is. If I have 2, if this is 2 and this is an unknown, what is it? So just a little thing if you wanted to go back and try. It's a really cool website that you can try to use. All right. Always have a bunch of tabs open. Let me see if I can find where we are. Okay, we are here. So that was your active engagement. That was the kind of like the we do or the you do type of thing, and then the small group collaboration. So we have a matching task, which is tape diagram. Students are going to basically just like you did for your mini lesson. They have a situation and they're going to match it. Or, I'm sorry, not a situation, an equation. They're going to match it to the tape diagram. So here's the person one is going to match these to the tape diagram. And then person two has these and they're going to match theirs to the tape diagram. And then when they're going to switch, check each other's work or check their sorting. If they have any changes, they need to explain their reasoning on why they changed it. And then they have an independent task here. And this came from Ms. Vincent when she put that in. All right. Then let me try to close that. Teacher-led problems. This is really to your discretion, but I just put in some problems that you can model through. So here are some problems for those students that didn't understand, or you can also take this time to kind of spiral back in anything. It depends on your students and your class. So this part here is to your discretion. All right, then we are going to summarize at the end, and you have your exit ticket here. They're just drawing a tape diagram to represent the situation. All right, so that was Monday. Try to hurry up a little bit. Uh-oh. What I'm doing here? Oh, I'm doing a lot. Let's see. Let me pause